extra time.
Losing Jofra Archer, to what extent does that disrupt your plans and preparation for this test?
Yeah, I mean, Jofra bowled better than his figure suggests in that first game. Brilliant start back into the test team for him. So, of course, it's a slight setback, but good news is that it looks like he should be able to get himself fit and ready for the third game. So as long as he uses the next couple of weeks wisely and looks after it, he should be fully fit and ready to go for that from that point onwards in the rest of the series.
Like how Virat Kohli came good with the bat in the second innings in the first test. So with both Jimmy and Jofra not playing, how do you plan to tackle him?
In terms of plans for Virat, we know he's a good player. We know that he's going to score runs at some point in this tour. We've just got to keep him as quiet as we can. I think we went about brilliantly in that first innings. Bessie produced a brilliant delivery to get rid of him. Moeen's played a lot of cricket with him, spent time with him, obviously in the IPL as well. But ultimately, we've just got to keep delivering our best balls time and time again. Keep trying to challenge his defence as often as possible, and try and build pressure on him. We know he's one of the world's best players, and he'll be desperate to prove a point this week. But what an exciting challenge for a bowling group to have already seen that we've dismissed him once early in the series. Can we do it again now? Can we collectively find ways of trying to restrict their whole batting group, but in particular big players like Virat?
Joe, this was always going to be a really tough challenge for England. Does this now in a way become even more tough with India being 1-0 down? We saw how well they bounced back in Australia. Does this second test provide you guys with an even sterner challenge?
It certainly provides us a stern challenge, but it's not as tough as if we were 1-0 down. That is for sure. We're sitting in a really good position. We played brilliant cricket. We'll take a lot of confidence forward into this week. But we won't get ahead of ourselves. I think we're very understanding of how much hard work it's going to take to win in these conditions. We've seen that firsthand in the last week. Had to play a pretty much perfect game that time round. So we know what it's going to require for us to win. But that challenge excites the group. We know the game plan and what it, as I mentioned, what it takes to set things up and all the hard work that goes into it. And that all has to start again. We can't take anything from last week in terms of the performances. It's a blank canvas, and that hard work has to start from ball one, whatever it is that we end up doing. But it's an exciting group of players full of confidence, and we definitely need to make the most of that going into the week.
And do the players have an extra spring in their step, Joe, with fans being back in now over the next couple of weeks? Are you firstly happy with all the procedures in place, and how excited are you and the players for that?
Yeah, I think when you're living in these bubble environments, there's huge amounts of protocols and procedures that are there to look after everyone in the ground, and obviously the players and people within the bubbles. But the atmosphere within the ground is something that test match cricket's been missing. So to have that back is going to be great. All of the players thrive off it. Having that atmosphere to build up those big moments within the test will be fantastic. And you come to a place like India, so passionate about sport. That's a side of the game that you really looked forward to as a player. And it'd be great to see the ground hopefully nearly half full this week and beyond.
What the thinking was behind bringing Moeen in for Bess, and exactly how you've approached that. Obviously, that's quite a delicate situation given Dom took 4 very important wickets in the first innings of the first test.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy decision. Dom's contributed fantastically well in these 3 games, and he's made a real impact. With him missing out, the messaging for him and moving forward is to keep working at that consistency of his game and delivering that skill time and time again. We talk about building pressure over long periods of time. And I think as well as he's done and the contributions that he's made have been fantastic, that's one area that he can improve on. But he is very young. He's very much at the start of things. And this doesn't mean that he's going to be pushed back down the pecking order. It gives him an opportunity to take a step out of Test cricket, the harshest environment, especially in these conditions, especially against a team that plays spin so well, to take stock and work at his game. And it gives Moeen a great opportunity to come back into things with all of his experience and someone who's bowling extremely well in and around practice. So it was a very difficult decision to make. I'm sure Bessie will be frustrated about it, but that's good as well. You want that competition for places. You want guys to be playing all the time and want to be in amongst it all. And that's certainly how he goes about his cricket. He's a wholehearted player, and I expect a response from him.
And could you just talk us through the Stone-Woakes dynamic for that? Looks like that's the sort of last spot going, those two playing for it, and why, what each will bring, and then I suppose why you've stuck with the rotation policy with Jimmy as well.
Yeah, we'll start with Jimmy. I think for Jimmy, it gives him the best opportunity to be fit and available for those last two games. Everyone's heart was in favour of him, being available for this game, but also you look at the bigger picture, and ideally, if he's available for two of the last three, that's a huge asset for us as a team. The way he's bowling, obviously, his reputation as well as his actual numbers and performances in the recent games that he's played for England. And with Stoney, that means that we could play with a similar balanced attack, someone that can come in and bowl at high pace, give us a real point of difference in our seam department. Or we could go down the route of Woakesy, which will give us great control, lengthens our batting, brings reverse swing massively into the game as well. So we feel like either way, whichever balanced side we go with, we're going to give ourselves a really good chance of taking 20 wickets in these conditions.
So Ollie Stone comes in. That's significant. You confident he's got enough cricket, I guess, in the last 12 months or so?
Yeah, he's made the most of every opportunity he's had. He's certainly looking very good in and around training. And as with a lot of players in the current time and current climate that we're in, we have to make the most of the little chances we get to play. When you look at that squad of players, there might not be a lot of game time in there, but what there is freshness of mind, freshness of body, and a huge amount of excitement about playing. And I think that can count for a lot, especially in these conditions. That freshness can be really important to come into the game, attack your spell for 3-4 overs, have a real impact on things, and come out of the attack again. So I think that can really work in our favour going into this match. You look at the way that we've picked the 12. We've got two ways we can go. We can have a similar balanced team to the last Test match with that extra bit of pace, someone like Ollie Stone, or we can have someone like Woakesy come into the fray and really capitalise on that reverse swing and control and trying to build pressure that way. So we'll make those decisions off the back of today, having a bit more information from looking at the wicket again a day out. And either way, I think we look like we've got a very strong squad for this wicket.
Hit the subscribe option and the bell icon to get all the exclusive sports videos on XtraTime.